Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts. We begin in the Northwest Territories, where cooler weather and rain have had a big impact on the wildfire burning near Fort Simpson. Officials are now drafting plans for the return of the town's evacuees. Fort Simpson residents were told to leave their homes on June 28th, and they've been waiting for news of their return ever since. Forrest Tower joins me now from Fort Simpson with the latest on the fire. So, Forrest, what's the situation on the ground today?
Yeah, as mentioned, we have received a decent amount of rain over the last 48 hours. So that had a really big impact kind of in the short term on fire behavior. It's really lowered what we're seeing out there. So really what that means at this point is crews are able to get in and work right on the fire's edge. So our main priority right now is sort of in the residential areas south of the main town site, all the way down to the airport and the ferry landing. So at this point, we're in more of a mop-up phase. So working around structures to make sure that there's no fire burning in the ground, as well as getting rid of danger trees. And then wildland firefighters working in forested areas to basically ensure that there's no fire. Our eventual goal is to get to 100 feet from the wildfire perimeter's edge. And in most areas, we're around 25 feet right now. So there's still, a lot of work to be done to complete sort of our objectives in making sure that risk is reduced enough that we can recommend from a wildfire risk perspective that order to be released. So we're still looking at, definitely around a week of work left for those areas. But luckily this rain has allowed us to kind of have an end in sight for that wildfire reduction to be completed. And so we're making progress every day as opposed to reacting and dealing with new wildfire growth. So definitely a trend in the right direction here.
Yeah, it must be such a relief, certainly for the people of Fort Simpson and for all of the people on the ground, to have that relief from the cooler weather and the rain. You described the mop-up phase. Tell me more about what that entails and what you're expecting over the next couple of days.
Yeah, so really, at this point, we're not expecting that the fire is going to grow much beyond its current perimeter in the areas that we're working. So, particularly, you can think of the eastern side of this fire from Fort Simpson, the main town site, south to the airport. That's our priority areas. We're not expecting that fire to move much based on the weather, at least in the next couple of days. And so really it means getting water. So they'll use pumps and hoses. Wildland firefighters, we have around 160 wildland firefighters now working to extinguish all fire that they can find in and around structures, supported by structural firefighters. We have thermal scanning that will be happening as early as tonight. So we have a company that has drones, and so they scan the fire at night, and they will create hotspot maps, so they can detect where there might be some heat or some fire burning still in the ground. And based off of those maps, crews will go in, and really the eventual goal is to make sure that from the fire's edge to 100 feet into the fire, everything is extinguished. At that point, the fire will still burn. It's a really large fire near Fort Simpson. Likely it's going to be burning for a while yet. And as soon as we see those dry conditions and hot conditions return, which it looks like they will in the next few days, it will still produce smoke, but we can be comfortable with having people come back and have that fire burning, in the interior of the fire. It's less of a risk. So still, there's lots of work left on this fire. There's another incident management team to replace our team incoming over the next 2 days. We're doing a transition. So, there's lots of stuff that will still happen with this fire, but our main goal is getting people back as soon as possible, and working with the village of Fort Simpson to, ensure everything is coordinated as effective as possible.
Okay, thank you so much for that update, Forrest. That's Forrest Tower, a fire information officer with NWT Fire. The name of the third person who died in a plane crash during a wildfire operation in the NWT last month has been confirmed. Pilot Robert McLeod had years of experience supporting wildfire fighting from the air across Canada. His employer, Buffalo Airways, had been waiting for his family's consent to confirm his identity. Sarah St. Pierre has more.
Buffalo Airways paid tribute today to the pilot of the flight that crashed outside Fort Simpson last month. Robert McLeod had over 25 years of experience in aviation. Buffalo Airways tribute to him says he made, quote, significant contributions to aerial wildfire responses across Canada. McLeod was one of 3 people who died in the crash, along with Olivier Lamy, an air attack officer, and Ryan Beck, an air attack officer trainee. They were aboard a Turbo Commander 690, supporting a water bomber working on a wildfire discovered that day. The type of plane is known as a bird dog. McLeod's brother Derek McLeod said flying those were his passion.
Most of his aviation career was in smaller airplanes, but that said, I mean, he had his ability to go commercial, big airlines, but it wasn't where his passion was. His passion was in what he was doing. So my brother's always been built for speed. He's built for things like he could always process things so much quicker than the rest of us. He grew up as actually the longest running speed skater in a province. So a very fast sport that he competed in for 30 years, which is a longer legacy than anybody else. He was a go-kart racer. You'll notice some trophies behind me today. Those are actually from his go-karting career. I'm at my mother's house, but there's over 130 trophies in this house that were part of his career. He always wanted to do things like drag racing, what have you, anything speed-wise, but he also just wanted to be able to get in the air because he was always wanted to just kind of see what it looked like from the ground and experience that.
McLeod was in his 3rd season working as a bird dog captain with Buffalo Airways, but his piloting career had him fighting wildfires all over the country. His brother says he loved working in the north, the warmth of the people, and its beautiful landscapes. There was a memorial for McLeod in his hometown in New Brunswick yesterday. He was 57 years old. Sarah Saint-Pierre, CBC News, Yellowknife.
Yukon RCMP are still searching for a German canoeist who went missing a month ago. Dominic Bandorski's capsized canoe was found on June 11th on the Teslin River, south of Carmacks, and not much information has been shared since. CBC reached the 31-year-old's family in Germany this week, who feel they've been left in the dark. The CBC's Virginie Ann joins us now live from Whitehorse. Virginie, what do we know so far about what happened?
So we were hoping to get an update on the search today from the RCMP because we haven't heard much over the last month. But police just confirmed that Dominic Bandorski is still missing. His canoe was found on June 11th where the Teslin meets the Yukon River. Some gear was also found at the time, including camping equipment, in-reach device, and a life jacket. And after that, police launched a search for Bandorski by helicopter, boat, and ATV. But since then, we haven't heard or received any information about how that search is going. And now we heard this week that the Bandorski's family is also wondering what's happening. His father told us that trying to get updates about his missing son is frustrating enough, but doing it from thousands of kilometers away makes it feel impossible. And what he means by that, Megan, is, well, both parents are in Germany. They speak little English. They say they've been receiving conflicting information from the RCMP and from the German consulate in Vancouver. We've reached the consulate, who confirmed they are in contact with the family, but didn't provide any details. But at this point, his parents say they've mostly given up hope that their son will be found alive. His father said Dominic dreamed of traveling in Canada, had done lots of research before coming. This was supposed to be a 10-day solo trip on the water before hitting the road. Megan.
Okay, thank you, Virginie. That is the CBC's Virginie Ann reporting live from Whitehorse. There was a small landslide above Robert Service Way this morning in Whitehorse. It happened in an area that sees regular movement. Officials say it didn't pose a threat, and they're continuing to monitor the area closely. George Moratis reports.
The slide occurred just behind me, about 250 meters south of the SS Klondike. Officials monitoring the area with a slope scanner first noticed movement last night. Then this morning between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m., about 50 cubic meters of sand, silt, and clay came down. Rob Dixon is the manager of engineering with the city. He says the slide didn't pose a risk to the public and didn't come as a surprise. Dixon says in the slide world, it was considered relatively small. Nothing fell onto the roadway and was well within the threshold of these lock blocks. The cement barriers were put in place following a massive slide in 2023 that did close Robert Service Way for 5 weeks. Officials say more slides are possible, but not likely to impact the road and affect commuters. That's a good thing. This is a popular roadway and a main artery in and out of downtown Whitehorse. George Moratis, CBC News, Whitehorse.
A pair of business owners in Teslin, Yukon hope next year's construction season goes more smoothly. They're both next to the Nusutland Bay Bridge, which is in the midst of being replaced. Construction on the massive project is on hold now, but both business owners say work last year hurt their bottom lines. The CBC's Leonie Lambrink tells us why.
That's a memorable sound here in Teslin. A vehicle driving over the graded surface of the Nusutland Bay Bridge. Construction on the replacement bridge here is on hold this summer, and that's something of a relief to two businesses.
Even though it still looks like a construction zone, there's no construction traffic. It's not lined with confusing pylons everywhere. So, we don't have as much dust. Really grateful, actually, just to have a pause and just to kind of run the business and see how things were going.
Clark and her husband bought the Yukon Motel and Restaurant in 2024. The business also includes a gas station, RV park, campground, and gift shop. The couple knew construction would bring challenges, but they say knowing it and dealing with it are different things. At times, just one of their driveways was open last year, and that was a problem for transport trucks, which can't easily turn around.
We just sat here in our empty parking lot watching vehicles go by. The existing Nusutland Bridge is very narrow and it's, graded. It's a little unnerving if you're going across it, especially if there's oncoming traffic. So, people are trying not to crash into each other, and you've got seconds to decide, are we turning into the motel or not? Because our driveway is right at the end of the bridge. And when it's lined with pylons or you have pilot vehicles directing people kind of away, even though there's signage, they just didn't come.
Across the road, the Nusutland Trading Post was dealing with a similar situation. Tierra Clark and her husband took over the motel, gas station, and general store in 2024 as well. She says communication with the Yukon government was blotchy and last minute.
Like when they shut down our entrance, it was for like 2 days or something like that, and they didn't even notify us about it. So it's kind of like one of those things where you kind of learn to speak up for your business, if that makes sense.
Construction on the replacement bridge here is expected to start back up again next year. The owners of both the Yukon Motel and Restaurant and the Nusutland Trading Post hope that when that happens, there will be better communication and more transparency from the Yukon government.
Our goals are to make sure that the impacts are minimal, that they're scheduled, that they're predictable, and that we have a place to share our concerns with if we have them.
Linda Benoit is Yukon's Highways and Public Works Minister. She says her department will continue to work with businesses. She said she understands certainty is important for them. Benoit said more information about the design and construction schedule is expected in the coming months. Leonie Lambrink, CBC News, Teslin.
Construction is nearly complete on Iqaluit's Akusariak Recovery Center. It's welcome news for many Nunavummiut who say its services are needed now. Several delays have led to a nearly 3-year wait for the center to open. Bianca McEwen has the latest.
The first addictions and trauma treatment center in Nunavut will soon become a reality. Merlin Rosinos is the co-CEO of Arctic Fresh Group. He says construction is expected to be done by the end of August.
We are expecting to be done soon with that project. Hopefully there's no major changes within the next 4 to 6 weeks, and we can deliver that project to both the owner and the territory.
Construction on the 24-bed facility started in 2023 with a price tag of $83.7 million from the Government of Canada, Nunavut, and NTI. Construction was expected to finish in December 2025 before being pushed to 2026. He says there's been delays in getting materials.
People talk about the tariffs in the U.S., but when that happened, it really shifted how logistics happen in the world. a lot of products used to come in through the U.S. and sometimes be trucked into Canada. Couldn't do that no more.
Sheila Levy is the executive director of Kamatsiak Nunavut Helpline for mental health support. She says she's thrilled construction is almost done and the center can open soon.
It is a facility that is sorely needed in Nunavut, and to have people not have to go south in order to get support and treatment, and hopefully family treatment in the north, is going to hopefully make a huge difference in having people recover or at least get support with their addictions.
She says supporting Inuit at home in Nunavut will be a big help, and the center will be worth the wait.
If they had to wait this long in order to get it done properly, then so be it. Let's just look at the positive, and that it's going to be open and people are going to get the help they need, hopefully.
Now the question is when the center will open. The Department of Health couldn't give an exact opening date, saying it will depend on final preparations and readiness. Bianca McEwen, CBC News, Iqaluit.
An advocacy group in Nunavut wants temporary protections on sensitive land until the territory's land use plan is finalized. Last week, the 3 signatories rejected the recommended draft plan 3 years after it was submitted. As Samuel Watt reports, that decision has drawn some heated reactions.
The Friends of Land Use Planning says the reasons for rejecting the latest draft are, quote, profoundly out of step with community members and harvesters. The 3 signatories, Nunavut Tongavik Incorporated, the territorial and federal government, cited many reasons for the decision. Among them, there's too much focus on conservation and not enough on social and economic development.
We know that Nunavut want to see a balance.
The Friends of Land Use Planning says that flies in the face of all the Nunavummiut who've advocated for stronger protections at numerous public hearings. The advocacy group wants officials to temporarily stop any development on lands that could be protected in the draft until it's signed. It's also worried that further delays in the plan will cause a rush in development. According to the World Wildlife Fund, as of May 2025, there were mineral claims in roughly 1.5 million hectares of land that would have some protection under the draft plan. Roughly half of those were made since 2023, when the latest plan was submitted for approval. The Northern Affairs Minister Rebecca Chartrand says there are existing regional land use plans to guide development, but the draft plan, as it stands, doesn't adequately support Inuit goals and objectives.
It's regrettable. I know that it's a complex situation.
Taka Curley is a former negotiator of the Nunavut Agreement. He's disappointed to see the plan rejected, but he's not surprised to hear why.
I know the federal government is under tremendous pressure from the mining industries and resource development.
Curley does agree with some of the reasons for the rejection, such as the need for more flexible approaches to conservation. He sees this as an opportunity for further debate, and he says it's imperative officials seriously pay attention to the voices of Inuit. Samuel Watt, CBC News, Yellowknife.
Indigenous leaders from across the north spent the week in Yellowknife learning how to turn their love for the land and water into stories. They are all guardians who help monitor and protect their traditional lands and waters. The Northern Indigenous Stewardship Circle organized the retreat and says it's the first of its kind. The CBC's Niles Nemeth has more.
Guardians are on-the-ground experts who assist Indigenous nations in the protection and management of traditional lands and water. 8 participants from the Indigenous-led conservation program traveled from across the NWT, Yukon, and BC to Yellowknife for the 5-day retreat, which concluded today. Kayana Lenny-Dolphus traveled from Toledo in the Satu region to attend the retreat. Her interest in protecting the environment began when she was young, spending time on the land at her grandfather's cabin.
Well, I think just like being about a guardian in general is just about protecting our Indigenous sovereignty in a way. I think this workshop is really about the whole transition from just being fieldwork, boots on the ground people, and putting them in these positions of leadership to help them thrive.
Amos Scott is a filmmaker and the lead facilitator. He says they chose to focus on storytelling as a key tool for Guardians as a way to advocate for the land and the animals they protect.
Guardians are a very important Indigenous-led stewardship initiatives, and in that is baked in our Indigenous values is leadership. What we're trying to help the Guardians here in this workshop is the storytelling aspect of the work that they do and how important that story is in terms of the environment, the land, the animals, the things that we care for as Indigenous people.
Shirley Coumont of the North Slave Métis Alliance says that as a guardian, her aim is to move beyond observation and data collection and bring the emotional aspect of storytelling into her work.
I'm going to be taking all of this information and sharing it back with my community, my organization, and hoping to, I just have a better way of sharing our information. It's more than just data and reports, you know, you got to have the spirit in it too.
A spokesperson with the Northern Indigenous Stewardship Circle said that they hope that this week's event will serve as a model for future Guardians training. Niles Nemeth, CBC News, Yellowknife.
A case of bird flu has been found in the Northwest Territories. A herring gull in the Fort Smith area has tested positive. This is the 16th diagnosed case of bird flu in the NWT since 2022. Health officials say the risk to humans is very low. They are urging the public not to handle any sick or dead birds and to report any sightings of sick or dead birds to the local wildlife office. And for those who harvest birds, there are some recommendations.
Notably for hunters or others who harvest wild birds or who might need to handle a bird, just making sure that you're using good safe practices in doing that. So wearing gloves, washing your hands thoroughly after, cleaning and disinfecting equipment and surfaces would all be important. And then you want to make sure that you're cooking that meat thoroughly. So those are all great ways to protect yourself.
Officials say if you're worried about an interaction with a bird, you should monitor for symptoms like fevers, headache, and muscle pain, which can typically show within 10 days of interaction. The city of Yellowknife is considering replacing its old bylaw for taxis. If approved, the city says the new bylaw will increase safety, address accessibility issues, and for the first time since 2019, set higher rates for passengers. Yumna Iftikhar has more.
It won't cost any extra to get into a Yellowknife taxi, but the distance charge would go up, roughly 70 cents per kilometer, which works out to about a 29% increase. Some Yellowknifers say they're not bothered by higher fares, but they do worry about driving behaviors.
For me, to increase, no problem, because all the daily needs, they increase. It's normal. But one thing my concern about the taxi driver, they don't respect the traffic. A lot of taxi driver here, I hate to say.
To improve safety, the city wants to mandate security cameras in all cabs. One former cab driver says she welcomes the requirement.
I think it's very good. I used to be a cab driver myself, and so anything that makes it safe for the drivers. I stopped driving because the drugs in town got bad, and therefore it became very dangerous to be a cab driver.
Under the proposal, drivers would be able to ask for a deposit of up to $30. Other changes include requiring drivers to pass additional safety and record checks. The proposal is set to be back before Council for debate on July 22nd. Yumna Iftikhar, CBC News, Yellowknife.
The Yukon government is no longer handing out baby baskets. The program started in August 2024. It gave new families a box stuffed with supplies and a mattress insert. Dana Hatherley tells us why the program has ended.
In a letter to Health Minister Brad Cathers, Vantat Gwich'in MLA Deborah Lee Raiety says she heard baskets are no longer being provided to new parents. In her letter, she expresses disappointment. The program provided new families a sturdy cardboard box stuffed with supplies and a mattress insert. The boxes acted as cots for babies until they began to roll over. Raiety asked Cathers to confirm how much the program cost the government and if it's been cut. In a response letter, Cathers says it was a time-limited initiative. He says about 650 boxes were handed out at a cost of approximately $300,000. Cabinet Communications says all items purchased under the program have been distributed. In his letter, Cathers says his government inherited financial problems from the previous Liberal government, and it needs to put its money where it's, quote, most urgently needed. Dana Hatherley, CBC News, Whitehorse.
A new array of colorful artwork is on display in Whitehorse. Artists submitted paintings, pottery, and more for the I'd Rather Be Outside exhibit. The CBC's Alexa Mackay checked out the gallery.
Pictures of lakes, mountains, and flowers are on display at Arts Underground. The I'd Rather Be Outside exhibit features work by members of the Yukon Arts Society. Each creation reflects the artist's favorite thing about summer. Becky Strigler's painting hangs on display.
These are some dandelions that are on a trail behind my house that I painted with oil pastels last summer when I was walking around in the woods behind my home. I really love June. I love June in the Yukon because of all the wildflowers and the green, and the dandelions are usually just dazzling.
The exhibit also includes works from clay. 2 of Roma Dobrowolski's designs are featured. She replicated kayakers and cyclists she sees in her neighborhood.
It's wonderful seeing people doing what they love to do, being active outside. So I thought that deserved being mentioned artistically in the show.
Not every piece depicts the great outdoors. Kathy Piowar's painting, called I'd Rather Be Inside, is one of them.
It has to do with my dog. Even though this is not a painting of my dog, this is a dog that's used to being on the couch, kind of regal, and even though summer has arrived, he's still inside wanting to be on the couch, sleeping, getting fed treats.
Inside or outside, more than 40 works reflect ideas of summer.
Well, I just hope that it connects with something that they love to do, or it connects with someone they love that likes to do it. So I'm just looking for connection.
The art is on display at Arts Underground until August 1st. Alexa Mackay, CBC News, Whitehorse.
The Yukon 1000 canoe race is underway. Competitors started in Rotary Park in Whitehorse first thing this morning. The grueling expedition will take them all the way to the Dalton Highway Bridge in Alaska, 1,000 miles in total. And while the race itself kicked off this morning, the competition began in August of last year with a lengthy application process. Of the many who applied, just 25 teams were selected. A total of 60 people are competing.
They've applied a year ago, 11 months, and then really proving that they can train and prepare for this, and work as a pair in order to do this today. So I don't take anybody after that. So there's no backfills. If you drop out, I take 30, and if you drop out, today is the number of 25 that starts from 30. So yeah, it's the end of the year.
Organizers say the competitive selection process helps keep the race safe. There are racers from Denmark, Estonia, Australia, New Zealand, the US, and England who made the cut. Now let's take a look at the weather they'll see along the way. And that is Northbeat for tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Megan Roberts. Have a great weekend.